Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In today's video we will be running mountain. Yay! So this is the 6th island in our 8-part series. It is important because there are some island unique codes. One that I know is the standardbred. I do not know Palomino standardbred. I do not know if there's any more. But yeah, I would say in a private server it is probably like the most, I would say there's the most ways to run it because it's so big. There's usually 2 ways. It's just different directions pretty much. But yeah, I would say in a public server it gets pretty crowded, but in a private server it is great. I also, if you need your collection log and the what's it called? You cannot get the Frisians like me, or the Clyde, or the Mammoth, or the Arabians. Which I know are ones that are common for people not to get. Why is high quality off? I would highly recommend to run one of the high tier islands, and this is the first one out of the 3. Personally, my favorite out of the 3. So I have one more quick little update before we get going, is that I will be going away for a couple of days. So unfortunately, I will not be able to post the Summer Carnival event that day that it releases. I will be playing it for that day, but I cannot video it and post it the day that it releases. So it will be a couple days after, but if y'all still interested in my opinion a couple days after, let me know. If you don't want my opinion, that's okay. I don't have to do it. So yeah, we only have one dock, and it is this dock. You will spawn in it, and you're going to follow this path. This is really the only 2 ways. One, you can turn this way, or you can go over Larry. So I personally go over Larry, and I run across this log, and I just keep heading straight out of the log. And if you do that correctly, you should see this little like hut place. There are a ton of gems. I might have to go back and get them. So then there's going to be one horse somewhere on top of this like hill area right now. So then I go back onto the path and just take it off right over here. And there's going to be 2 horses on this hill. So it really just depends where they are. Currently there's one up there and one down here. I definitely recommend having your lasso out because you can see their little like how strong I guess they are from being hit with a lasso. But yeah, they can really be anywhere. But currently, oh whoa, hold up. We have a double spawn. So you can see that like where it says 19. You can see that if you have your lasso out, even if you cannot see the horse. Okay, well, we actually had a double spawn. So if you look at, sometimes a double spawn happens, and a double spawn is this. You see the stat card of this horse? It is going to be identical as that horse. So that's a double spawn. So yeah, they're basically identical horses. Really cool. So then I continue going off this path, and you're either going to find, there's 2 spots. It's going to be somewhere on this hill, or if you don't find a horse somewhere on the hill, it will be right down in this area. Let me go ahead and grab this. I think every video I ran off and got something, a shell or a pot of gold. And then you will find a horse over onto this island right over here. If you don't find a horse onto this hill, there will be 2 horses on that little like area over there, I guess. I do not know how to call things, okay? They're just sort of like hills and islands in my opinion. So then we run over here, and you're going to find 2 horses here. So currently one is in the water, which is a common spot that likes to be. But if it's not in the water, just find 2 horses like somewhere over here. They can go as far as that tree way in the back by the beach, or as far as like right up against that hill. So we are this horse, man. So we are coming up onto our first out of 3, like I would call them harvest areas, and that's just where there's a ton of like food and resources. I would guess it's mainly food that you can harvest here, and I definitely recommend stopping and getting it. It just gives you some food even if you don't want to stop for the rest of the time, which I personally also don't really want to stop for the rest of the time. So then you hop up this hill and just have to do a little bit of parkouring. you will find one other horse. It is either going to be somewhere in the water, or it could be anywhere from like this first jump to the like cabin, I guess, way back here. Most of the time I find it way back by the cabin. It's only rarely for me that it's in the water. And then we go right around here and jump down here. There's going to be 3 horses here. So sometimes a horse is here, and if there's not a horse here, you're going to find 3 horses onto this hill. So let's go ahead and count them. So they're going to be in this main area. So here's 1 horse on the hill. We have 2 horse right there. And the 3rd horse is right here. So yeah, as I can tell, you will definitely get a ton of high tiers from the high tier islands. So we got our Mawari, which I believe that's how I pronounce it. Let's go back and find that 2nd horse that I never ended up capturing. Let's come here. Alrighty. So those would be our 3 horses, but I still check to make sure that there's no double spawns. Yeah, they can go as far as like by that tree way over there or in this little divot, but just make sure that you find 3 horses in that like general area. And if you don't find 3 horses, there will, in that general area, there will be 2 horses up here. So let's go ahead and grab it. See, this is a rare coat, what's it called? Rare coat Akateki. Actually, I think there might be 4 horses down in that area. There's 3 to 4 horses. And then if you find those, sometimes I always look in the water because sometimes they will be in the water, sometimes they won't. It just sort of depends. So then you're going to look, and there's 3 spawn points here, and there's going to be 2 horses. So the first one is on this hill. There's not one here, okay? The second spawn point is by this, like, cave area, which there is a horse here. So there's going to be 2 horses somewhere in these 4 different spawn points that I'm about to show you. I'm aware I use a lasso that takes a minute, so bear with me. And then if you go over this bridge, we have 2 more spots the horses like to roam. So spot number 1, spawn 3 is right here. So if you don't find a horse here, you will find and then this is spawn 4, which can be over here. And if there's not a horse here, it just ran. But a lot of times there's going to be, but 90% of the time, there's 2 horses in one of those 4 spawns. So now, sometimes the horse will run over to this rocky area, but a lot of times it's in this area. And if it's not in this area, it's just somewhere in that rocky area right there. Sorry if I'm like whipping my camera around and giving you all whiplash. I probably am giving my character whiplash. I never really thought of it. So then we're going to parkour up this hill. I cannot speak for a long period of time. So there's going to be a horse somewhere in this area. Hope it's in the spot that I need it to be. Yeah, just somewhere up on this hill they'll be at. Sometimes they're in the water. But yes, it is where I want it to be. So if you do not see a horse in the water up on this hill, just keep going straight back. And there's going to be a horse. There's going to be a horse right down here. They go pretty far down. That was real convenient. Hold up. So usually I go back onto the hill and jump over and jump off of the waterfall, but there's a pot of gold, so you know, had to change. But yeah, usually I go back up the hill and jump off of the waterfall, but you know, pot of gold. So then we have our last 2 harvesting areas right next to each other. So yeah, they literally just give you a ton of resources, and it also can regain your horse's stamina, because I know my horse always runs out of stamina because of how big this wonderful island is. It's just pretty big. So then there's going to be 2 horses somewhere here. Sometimes they'll be like by this tree, or even where this horse is, or there's going to be 2 horses up on the hill. So let's look. Okay, we got Clyde. How much strength are you? Yeah, we're gonna use, sorry guys, I use a lasso because I need all the money I can get. As you see, I'm real close to my first million. I really hope I can get it. Oh, by the way, if you did not find 2 horses in those 4 spawns, there's like 4 spawn points, it's gonna be right over there. There's actually 5 spawn points that 2 horses rotate between. And then there's going to be 2 horses up on this hill. They can be anywhere on the hill. So go ahead and respawn and reset like we do on pretty much every single island. It also fills up your horse's stamina bar. Now, congratulations! You have successfully ran jungle. So see you guys in the next one. Bye!